Hey guys, it's Kristen. It is July 13th and it is 2:44 p.m. Uh I don't know. I woke up in a different kind of mood, way different than like 2 days ago, where I just was gone. I still come in and out, but I can only laugh at myself now because I didn't want to post that video. I honestly was just like, this is just really, this is hard. I did not want to post it. But like I said, I do this to show like every side, and that there are days just like that. And I think today is still Sun Square Chiron. So we're going to be talking about some stuff, don't worry. But uh uh yeah, so I I was just really deep in my feelings, and so much so that I couldn't concentrate on doing the video or channeling. I tried. Okay, I tried. So I can only laugh at myself. So yesterday, uh, after all of that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to not have any distractions. I'm not even gonna look at my phone, because if I start looking through my phone and reading and going through my astrology and uh teaching myself, and learning, I'll look up and 2-3 hours have gone by and I'm like, oh fuck, because now I gotta go, I have other shit to do and I don't really. So I took off all the distractions. I didn't even get on my phone. So what I did yesterday was I did uh I spent 5-6 hours doing meditation, connecting with God, spirit, writing affirmations, and then doing a ritual for self-love and self-care for myself, because I fucking I needed it. I needed it, so I did it. And I was like, damn, I need to give myself some fucking love right now. And people, to each their own. If you think that stuff's like just witchcraft and bad, whatever. I don't do like the speaking in tongues stuff. What I do is what I did, I took care of the normal things I would do for myself, of getting ready and taking a little extra time to get ready and like be present and not drift off or daydream. Or I just really sat there and I was there for myself. I don't know. And I have so what I do, everybody's different. And like I said, take what resonates, take what doesn't, take nothing, take everything, take only little bits and pieces. It's all really up to you. Like I said, it's so anyways, um, I normally, for protection, I will light a white candle for God and spirit, universe, and I'll light that first, and I will give thanks and gratitude almost every day and almost for every single thing that I have in my life at this moment, and things I've had, even in the past. And so I do that. And there are some days where I'm just too busy or things happen and I can't do that, but I try to do that every day. And after that, I knew I needed some fucking love for myself after that last video. And it's I got a red candle, like a red, one of those red long candles. And I'll take a toothpick or you can take a pen, but I wrote down things like you can write love, self-love, whatever you want to write on it. So I wrote some stuff on it and I did that. And then I wrote for about 3 hours, 3 hours. I want to say 3 hours. So I was just writing down affirmations, writing things down of how I see myself, how I feel about myself, things like that. And that's what helps me kind of get back into my body and in a better space, because sometimes I get so caught into my emotions that I don't realize I'm very confused, or I'm not present really. I'm present, but I'm not. I'm like in my head and in spacey a little bit. So to some people, other people, most people, they'll think I'm like detached and uninterested or angry, and it's not that. I'm in my other world. I'm in my other world. So I literally have another world. Like nobody but me knows about my other world or knows what happens in my world, but I can explain it because a lot of people don't understand. If you're Pisces, you have prominent Pisces in your chart. I'm sure Saturn and Pisces is like that. But definitely I'm Pisces sun, and my Juno's in Pisces, and my Midheaven's in Pisces. And so I'm not always daydreaming either. Don't get that wrong either. I've learned how to balance, because whenever I was younger, I didn't really know how to control it very well. But now it's a way for me to get in inspiration or ideas. They just like pop in, which that didn't start happening until a few years ago. Like I think it was in my Saturn return when that started happening. And that also could have been whenever I started the process of like getting off more of my meds and things like that. So it could have been all of that all together. But what I would do like for so long, and I'll explain why, is I've always ever since I was little, like I've talked about this so many times, but ever since I was little and a kid, I knew I was different. I knew I was a little weird. I knew I was fucking, but I just didn't understand why. I didn't understand why, like I couldn't make I couldn't make close friends. I could make a lot of friends at school or acquaintances, and I literally, you could call wanderer, whatever. I literally, every group, I was friends with every group. And it was like little pieces of me. And there was things that I got along with, what back then they called goth, now, or emo, now they accept it. But back whenever I was in school, it was like, people were just weird about goths and emos and thought they were just like depressed and I don't know, stereotypical shit. And it was not like that at all. And I loved hanging out with them because they were all different like me. So plus I hung out with drama people, band people. I even hung out with popular people because a few of them I got along with. So, but it was hard for me to find someone or even like two people or three that were like me, that had a lot of the same similarities. And even to this day, I have one best friend. I have one best friend, and we're 3 days apart. And it's funny, it's like we're the same person. We're pretty much almost the same person. She's got a little different in her chart. There's a few little I don't know, it's a few little differences, but her Pluto and my Pluto hit an exact degree. Mine, I think, is in the 6th house that hits her first house. Or it's the 10th house that hits the first house. But I can't, it's one of those two. But either way, it was basically like fated. Like we were fated to meet. We chose to meet, probably before we got down here, and me and her were about to come down and be like, you're my bitch. You got me. And yeah, it's crazy. So if you're just starting out in astrology and you're doing synastry, whether you're pulling it up from your chart and looking at the other person's or theirs with yours, it doesn't matter. It's still going to correlate together. But if you have any kind Saturn or Pluto and it hits an exact degree in one of your signs, like Saturn and Pluto or Saturn and Sun, or Pluto and Pluto, Saturn and Saturn, like you can't stop that. You can't stop that from happening. It's crazy. I'll show here in a little bit. It's just crazy. It's crazy. And this is why I really got into astrology, because I was a little like iffy about it, because I was like, I don't really know about that, but it was interesting. So I was like, well, it doesn't hurt to look in my chart and just see what's going on. So that's what I did. I started researching and looking, and I was like, it starts making sense. Like, okay. And then I'd look more into it and I'd be like, oh my God. And still today, my mind's been blown. This is why I love astrology. It continues to blow my fucking mind. So that's why I like it. Oh, it's so fun. But yeah, so I had a hard time making friends, and only have one best friend, Nicole. And how we met, I moved from Tulsa to Phoenix, Arizona. I was in 3rd grade, and it was like the last half of the year of 3rd grade. And my dad was, I think, the same age as me, and he was also going through his Saturn return, like first Saturn return. He lost his father from lung cancer, and I was 7. I still remember a lot of that, but somehow I don't know the full story, and my dad told me before, but I don't remember. Like I just don't, whatever. I don't have time to tell the whole thing anyways. But technically my dad was the first manager to ever open up a Quit Trip in Arizona, like first Quit Trip ever in Arizona. So, history in the making there. But no, like yeah, no, he really was. He was first manager to open up Quit Trip in Phoenix. And so we moved there. I was in 3rd grade. I didn't know Nicole yet until 4th grade, starting the 4th grade. Somehow, some way, I ended up friends with like the popular girls or whatever. And it was like a smaller elementary school too, kind of the same as the one I came from before. So it was only 2 classes, like 60 people. And starting 4th grade, I don't know how long. I could probably look up on astrology, and I could probably, actually, I would be able to figure out the exact day if I looked through. But I don't have time for that right now. But yeah, anyways, back whenever kids had recess and there was no phones, and you would play on the jungle gym and shit, and you'd actually conversate and have fun, yeah, so I was with these girls, and normally with like, and all of a sudden they're like going up to Nicole, and I'm like, okay, all right. I was like, I didn't know who she was, so I was like, and I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden they just start talking shit and just saying some fucked up stuff and being bullies. And I'm sitting there, I'm very confused. I'm just observing, and I'm like, I'm very uncomfortable because I don't deal with that. I don't deal with people who bully. I don't deal with people who pick on others or they gang up and they do that. I don't do that. I'm always, one, because I know what it's like. I've been picked on before, actually a lot. Like even whenever I was younger, I was picked on a lot, made fun of. And I knew people could fuck with me all they want, but you're not going to fuck with anyone else. Like you're not going to fuck with someone in front of me, because it doesn't matter if I know them or not. You're not going to do that. And I mean, if I'm not going to just put myself in some business that maybe I shouldn't be in, but at this point I'm in the middle of this, and I don't know what the fuck's going on. So I don't know if she may have done something to piss them off. So I'm just observing, and I'm like, this is really uncomfortable. I don't like this. And so they're done. They walk off. And I asked him, I go, did she do something? Did she say something, you guys? Did she do something? And I'm like, no, we just don't like her. She's weird. So we just go over there and make fun of her and say whatever we want or what. And I'm just like, immediately after, I walked away from them. I went straight over to Nicole, and I was like, she was doing something like digging in the dirt, and I don't remember exactly, but she was like digging, or that's all I can remember in my head. She was digging or doing something, like picking something, and I'm like, hi, my name's Kristen. What's your name? She's like, shut up. I'm like, damn, you fucking bitch. But no, I was like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, and then I just kept talking. Like normally, look at what I do. I just keep talking. So I just something I said with like Hilary Duff, because Lizzie McGuire at the time was really big. I loved Lizzie McGuire, and she's like, oh my god, I love Hilary Duff, Leslie. I'm like, oh okay, yeah. And then we then said birthdays. Like I don't know if she said hers first or mine, but either way, it doesn't matter. Where I was like, we're both like, holy shit, we're 3 days apart. We're sisters. And literally that was it. We've been best friends ever since. Best friends ever since. We've had a few falling outs, but who doesn't, but those few times we did have a falling out, it was like when I had big changes in my life, that it was like fated to happen in that way, for things to happen in some other way. but she's the only person in this world that knows me, like that knows me and accepts me for who I am. And even though we piss each other off sometimes, like we're like, and it's like, it's been 22 years now or something. Even though she still lives in Arizona and I live here in Oklahoma, we still talk. It's not, it doesn't feel weird or different. Like I don't know, it's crazy. And then whenever I moved out when I was 15 and to go live with her, and the falling out came because of I went to come visit and I was supposed to come back and things happened that were out of my control, like literally out of my control. Literally, like what happened was literally like not even my fault. And shit happens. So but yeah, as time went on, like I had a hard time making close friends. So Nicole's always been my really good friend, best friend, sister. I don't even fucking say best friend. I call her my sister. We always call each other sisters because we are. And because of that, I would try to make, I talk. I love to talk. Okay. I love to talk. I love to have conversations. Even when I go out to Walmart, or it doesn't matter where the fuck I'm at. If somebody wants to talk, I'm down to fucking talk. What do you want to talk about? Let's talk about it. You want to be excited about it? Let's fucking be excited about it. Let's fucking do this. Like yeah. So the problem is, not a lot of people are like that, or they're not so in tune with themselves or know themselves that as I did. So they were either very intimidated or just didn't know, because I just open up sometimes. I just, and I get it. I think when I was younger, because I have my Mercury's in Aries. So I know that I probably said a lot of things that maybe triggered people, pissed people off, or maybe said it in the wrong way and didn't know. I don't know. But because of that, I could feel when someone's energy would get cut, and I try to get to know somebody or hang out, and it's like, no, things happen. And I just felt thwarted in that. And so I just, and that's when my daydreaming would pick up, was when I felt very different than everyone else. And so the only time I felt like myself fully was when I was in my dream world, making things in it. Like I make whatever in it. Like I can't even explain it. Okay, so I can make characters, I can make storylines, I can make and a lot of the times too, it would be storylines of how I wanted to be in real life and how I would interact with the people around me or whatever. And that became kind of an addictive self-sabotage behavior. And for a while, even and got worse in my teenage years, because in my teenage years I definitely felt very, very uncomfortable, and I did not feel I did not feel like I could be myself. I learned how to mask very well, very, very well. I'm a more than a mastery at masking, more than mastery. And that's not a good thing. I don't know why I'm smiling about that, but that's not a good thing. But no, I would know when to switch like that. I would know, and it was exhausting. That's the other thing is, I know another big part of why I may have not had a lot of close friends either was, especially in high school, I absorb everyone's energy around me. Everyone's. And as a Pisces, and this is Pisces in general, we feel the collective energy. We feel everything that's going on. Like the majority of what's happening, and even astrological events that's happening, we feel it. We're the ones that feel it. If you're in tune, you feel it. If there's someone around, you feel it. And the hardest thing was for me to balance that, especially when I had 3 brothers and my mom and my dad was always gone and working, which is not his fault, but like he wasn't there. And then my mom was like not there. And I mean, when she was there, but not really, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just all of the energies, and then going to school and feeling everybody else's energy all day would drain me. And I'm like, fuck, I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to be by myself. I need to be alone. And so people will be like, hey, you want to go do something? I'll be like, no, I want to be by myself. Like, I don't want to go out. Like, I have been at school all day, and, or have practice in the morning and then school all day. I just want to be alone. I just want to be fuck alone sometimes. That's the thing, is like, I have to have my alone time. I have to have it. I can't not have it. I have to. For my sanity, I have to. And a lot of people don't understand that. They don't get it. They think it's just me wanting to detach, or me wanting to not be around them, or they may take it as an insult, or it's not. It's just, I legit like being alone. I legit like being alone. I love company, but I love being alone. So the balance of that, there's got to be a balance. And some days you got to compromise. Some days you got to be like, fuck, I can't have that much alone time today. So, or I got to do this, or I have to do this, this, and this, so I can have more alone time on this day or that day or whatever. So yeah, that, the dream world and all of that, it's been a thing of its own. And it also, it was it did not help with the procrastination either. So I would be all up in my head, and I would listen to music. I love listening to music. Music has been like the life saver of just, like, I love music. And I'll say this. What's funny is, like, if I need to cry, I'll listen to sad music. Like, if I can't cry, like, I'll listen to sad music, and And this is what I'm saying with Pisces, and this is something I don't do anymore, but I would continue to keep listening to sad music so I would continue to cry for like, I'm not kidding, hours. Hours. But it's because I had so much emotions in that I would just get them all out at one time, or I would have so much emotion uh going on that I didn't know how to express. I didn't know how to express it sometimes. So when people are asking me like, what's wrong? And I don't even know what's wrong. All I know is I'm angry and there's just no reasoning for why I'm angry. It's just I'm angry, and it would make me mad. I'd be like, why are you asking? What? But I've learned. I've learned to like tune in if there is it, and this is something that I literally have been doing for the last few years. Because I will get energy come up, and this happens, is and it's usually from something that I haven't acknowledged yet, or I have acknowledged it, but I've ignored it. And maybe I put someone else's needs before mine, and I'm feeling a little resentful or bitter. And I just keep stuffing stuff like a fucking teddy bear stuff. And I, why did my camera do that? It's so weird. Anyways, I would stuff my emotions and continue to stuff and stuff. And then I wouldn't want to acknowledge it. I wouldn't want to acknowledge it because I didn't want to deal with it. And I was because it was either too painful. It's too painful. And I was scared to even acknowledge it because I didn't know how I would even be if I acknowledged it. So I try to be kind of like a robot, you know. But that only worked for so long. Even being on medication and drinking. I mean, I've never been a big drinker ever. Like drinking has never really been my thing. I'll have a few drinks, and there's been a few times I've got drunk, but I like sober up so quick. It's weird. But um my thing was numbing out. That's what helped me. Or what I thought helped me. And then I would just have anger or bitterment and resentment. And then I'd be like, what the fuck is happening? And I wouldn't even know where it's coming from, what it is that I'm having. Or it could be someone else's energy that is I've just attached to or is going on with them, and it's fucking with me. And so I I use some in the past, I just fucking go off. I would go off, you know, and it's something I had to learn, you know, because I would see red and I would say shit. And, you know, I'm not perfect. No one is. So what I do now is if I feel anything that is of that, of those emotions, and I'm unsure and but it's bothering me, and I don't want other people to be affected, or I don't want other people to assume I'm mad at them, upset with them, or that they've done anything. So what I do is if I'm in that mood, or if I'm in those moods, I tell whoever's around me, I say, hey, I'm just letting you know, I am feeling this way right now. Who's calling me? Hold on. Hello? Yeah. Okay. Hello? Hello? Hey, I'm filming. Can you, I'll call you back. All right. Bye. Anyways, I'm sorry. Um, Now what was I don't even remember what I was saying now. Oh yeah. Okay, so when people were around me, I would say, "Hey, I'm just letting you know I'm feeling this way. I don't know why, but I'm just letting you know you didn't do anything. It's nothing. It's nothing. You're not the problem." So I would just, even if they wouldn't even assume or whatever, I don't want to put people in that place or make them feel that way, because my problem too was the problems, the hard times I had in my youth and in my home really affected my relationships, my all my relationships. And whenever, you know, one of my exes or boyfriends or whatever would do something or act in a certain behavior, I would it would trigger a same, a trauma event that happened in the past in my home. And instead of communicating, I would just immediately get upset or passive aggressive or uh dramatic maybe, and it just depends on what it was. And when all I could have just said was, "Hey, what do you mean by that? Hey, why, when you said this or when you did that, like, what did you mean? What was, can you explain a little bit more?" And it would have probably saved me way more fucking heartache than what I put myself through. And there are times though, I have really fucking prestige intuition. And I can, I usually know what's going on. With whoever I'm with, I know what's going on. You don't even have to be around me. You could be in another fucking state, in another fucking country, and I know what's going on. I know exactly what's going on. Or you can be at home, and if there's an energy switch, I'll know and I feel it. And if the person's not opening up, I'm just like, all right, they can, if they want to, they will, But the other problem is it would be the other way around, where the manipulation would come in, or gaslighting from partners. And it would be where I knew something was wrong or something was going on. But anytime I tried to communicate or say, "Hey, what's going on? Why do you feel like, I know something's wrong? Like, talk." "No, nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. Nothing. No, no." But give me the silent treatment or stonewalling. And it's apparent something is wrong, but then they're saying no. And then it just, out of all of a fucking sudden one day, it's just like they blow up. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Just, I'm just, I'm like, damn, I'm reliving my fucking childhood life right now. Just, what the fuck did I do? I'm just like, but I've had to learn, you know. That's the main thing with these all my relationships in the past is, even though they were very hurtful and painful, it it's taught me more about myself and the things about me and what I'm doing too. And a lot of people don't like it because if I'm giving out a behavior to you, especially now, is because and you don't like it, I'm just mirroring back your fucking energy and what you give it. But there's also times I could definitely be in the wrong or doing something. But it's more of listening to the person and trying to put yourselves in their shoes. I always been like, I try to been like that, you know. But relationships have been very sad and hurtful, painful, connected to wounds in childhood. And no longer though, am I accepting that, you know, especially everything that I know now and what I've learned. And that's the other thing too, is people can all, you know, it's great to put out your opinions and your stories. It's everybody has a right to. And everyone has a right to take up space and be valued and loved and cared for. To me, in my opinion, I've seen people on TikTok that talk about relationships. They're like, oh, I'm not going in my next relationship, or you shouldn't go in a relationship if you're not healed all the way. Well, you never fully heal. You're always continuing to heal. You're always continuing to grow. So, I mean, if you never get into a relationship, you're never going to know what you like or what you don't like, or what you'll take and what you won't, and your expectations and boundaries, and none of that. So it's all for you to learn. We're all here learning from each other and figuring out what we like, what we want, and what values we'll take, what values we're going to leave behind, and what kind of relationships we want, instead of projections that we've been given our whole lives, and saying that, oh, well, you need to do this and that, and that's it, and that's what success is. And you know, and also don't listen to people, or it doesn't matter if it's family or friends or lovers or what the fuck ever. Like, if you're not getting a relationship because you think you're not healed enough, or you've got other issues, or it's because, you know, you're worried about what other people will think, or friends will think, or family will think. Maybe the person is in a different religion than you, or maybe it's a divorced mom or dad with kids, and you don't have kids, and you're like, well, my family this, or my friends this, or like, it could be anything. It's just why are you worried about what anybody thinks? Because you're living your life. No one's living your life. You are. So you're the one that chooses. You get to choose. No one gets to choose that for you unless you let them. But then you're going to realize you're very unhappy. And then you're going to be put in situations, people, places that it's going to be very hard to get out of and not fun, or even more depressing. And you got to listen to yourself. You got to listen to what you want, because life is short. I know this with my mom. Like, life is short. I've seen a lot of people die. I've seen a lot of births, marriages, deaths already. But I've got Pluto and Scorpio in the 8th house, 6th house. And I also got Pluto and Scorpio conjunct vertex and Scorpio. Constant transformation all the time. All the time. I'm the person that comes into other people's lives and transform. You're going to have rebirths. But so am I. So either we're here to do them together, or we're here not, you know. If you're not going to do them with me, then the universe takes it to where it needs to go. And then they'll put me, I mean, I've realized now, like, where I'm supposed to go. I just, let's go. Not going to fight it anymore. Like, best thing. And so I definitely have come into my own for the first time in a long fucking time. Because for a long time, I did listen to some people that I thought had my best interest, or thought cared about or loved me. And even they could, and maybe they do. But they're not living your life. So how do they know what's best for you when you know what's best for you? And even if you don't know what's best for you, then go find out. But be in tune with yourself and accept what comes up. Because denying your own truth or desires or dreams it's just going to put you in a life of not happy. I know, I would know. And then a lot of the times when I was put into that place because I listened to some people, I would then go, well, this, like, I would get impulsive and not sit with myself and go, okay, I got to get from here to here now. What is the best and most effective way to do that? Instead, the impulsive rebellion kind of gets in, and I go, damn. And I would just go, fuck it. And then I would go either make a big decision that I should have probably waited and done it differently, and not so crazy. And sometimes I put myself in places that were even more sad and lonely because I couldn't wait, or I was impatient, or I was just being impulsive. And that's the other thing is to realize if you are somewhere that you are not happy with right now, and that's normal, because that's the thing is nobody is going to be happy every single fucking day. That's not real. It's not reality. It would be a fucking amazing goal. That's a goal, and that's something to say. And you can do like little bits and spurts throughout the day of trying to get that. But you really need to pay attention and go within, because like I said, your intuition and you and your higher self already know. You already know. And my biggest thing for me, especially because I have Hygeia in my 12th house, Hygeia in my 12th house, I have Pluto and Scorpio in my 6th house. I was trying to think if there was anything else, but either way, anytime I didn't follow what I felt was the right thing for myself to do, and maybe listen to someone else's advice, or stayed with someone just because, out of fear, or because they convinced, or whatever it is, I would then get ill. I would get sick. And the other thing too is if I didn't communicate, if I allowed people to speak over me or speak for me, or not let me make decisions, or I got sick. And really, if I'm doing something or going in a path I'm not supposed to, I get sick. Your body tells you. Your body tells you it communicates with you. And you listen. If there's something going on, you need to sit with yourself. And my other problem was always having to go find stuff to do, because I didn't want to deal with that, or I didn't really want to like feel the pain or feel the hurt. It's not like I was above that and above crying, or because I always felt so uncomfortable crying in front of people, and all of that. But now I'm not that way anymore. I fucking don't care. So I get sick, and I know, yeah, I know. I like, for me, I have to have a lot of, I need alone time to really get into my thoughts and what's going on, so I can figure out, yes, that's what's happening. And not every day you get it right. It's okay. We're all learning. And I also have with my Hygeia in the 12th house, which can also be hospitals, behind the scenes. And I know a lot of people that have their sun in the 12th house deal with a lot of feeling like they were left to deal with a lot of things alone. or just shit happening and you have no control. Like people say, oh, you can have control of stuff. Yes, you can. But when there's outer events happening, that's just like, what the fuck? Like there are plenty, trust me, there are plenty of fucking things that you don't have control over. And that shit has been my life of just, and when I got over one thing and I'm like, oh man, I can have a break, I'll sit down, enjoy, be like patting myself on the back of like, oh, I got through that. It's like before I could sit down, it's like, bam, something else comes up and I'm like, what the fuck? And it's like, it's something I've never dealt with. And I'm like, how the fuck? Like, and then I'm on to that and the next thing. And then that gets another rebirth and transformation of the next level I'm going up to, I guess. So, people like me and others that probably connect with me as well probably have sorts of that with needing alone time, because same energy connects. We connect. And just how it is, and it was never like I was alone. It was just, it was a lot of things that most people normally don't go through in this lifetime or deal with. And it's nothing I've done wrong, and it's nothing you've done wrong. This is whether we chose this or not. This is our life, and this is life. And you have to look at it you can't look at it from a negative. You always got to look at it from a better place. If it hasn't pieced together for you yet, it will. And then you start seeing the transformation and the positive effects, even the nasty negative and pain and loss that I've had or you've had. But really was my Saturn in return. It's my Saturn in return whenever I was going through that, where just things started to really change in my life. And that's when my spirituality, like I got into, and that's when I got into astrology. That's when I got did I get the idea? No, I got the idea to do this like a few months before I got into my Saturn return. I think it was like 6 months before my Saturn return started. And almost died. So, I mean, it just, I gotta go through some fucking shit to just be a fucking awesome, I guess. to teach people, I guess. So, I mean, who else can do it, Me. I don't know why my phone's doing this. Because I want to show real quick astrology, because I want to share it on here. So I am going to talk about my mom and her passing a little bit. So if that's going to be a trigger or you don't want to hear that, I'm just letting you know. But I'm going to show the synastry with mine and her astrology. And I want to show, like, I just want to show you guys why I love astrology. And hopefully you guys can see what I'm seeing. And even if you can't, I just hope you can. I'm going to try to do my best to explain it as best as I can to hopefully have you guys understand if you're interested, or if you're wanting to, you know, stay. Okay. So yeah, what do I say? Almost died. My mom already had cancer at that point, was in remission. She went out of remission in 2020 in March. And then she started going downhill in July of 2021. And then she went in the hospital. No, I'm trying to look at my calendar here. 2023, 22, January. '21st. And guess what? January 18th, 2022. That's when South Node and the North Node changed signs. So that's when we've been in the South Node Scorpio, North Node Taurus since January 18th of last year. And it ends, and we're now going into Libra and Aries on the 17th of this month. Mind you, when the nodes changed to Scorpio and Taurus on the 18th of January, it hit my North Node in the 12th house and the South Node in the 6th house. Death. And my Pluto is in the 8th house. Death. But it also can be rebirth, sex, money, you receiving money from, maybe if you marry someone that has money, Pluto in the 8th house. Manipulation sometimes, power, you know, has a lot of meanings to it. But yeah, so my Saturn, and this was all also my Saturn return, because my Saturn return ended when Saturn went into Pisces on my birthday, March 8th of this year. So yeah, what a fucking relief that was. Sort of, but like, I was very happy my Saturn return was done, because my Saturn is in the 9th house. And boy, did I have a transformation of 9th house of spirituality. So wherever if you are Saturn and Pisces right now, even Saturn in general, where's your Saturn? What house? First house would be for like yourself. Second house is value, self-worth, money. Third house, communication, brothers, neighborhoods. Fourth house is home, family, environment, like friends, but your home, you know. Fifth house, creativity, play, children, affairs. It can be love too. Sixth house, work, health. There's a lot more to that. Working out, you know, I can do that. Seventh house, you know, business, all kind of relationships. So 8th house, I explained 8th house. 9th house, spirituality, law, church, lawyers, museums. 10th house, career, marriage, divorce, job, career. Said that. 11th house, speaking, friends, community. And 12th house, behind the scenes, unknown. Things that are still maybe unconscious. Yeah. That could be for the next video I could do, because I haven't looked into Saturn and Pisces yet, and I need to do that, because that's really going to affect me, because I'm fucking sun's in Pisces, and my fucking Juno in Midhaven. So you Juno too. You look at your Juno. Your Juno is your also Juno can be your what you do for work too, and it also Juno is a huge thing to look at in your chart, especially for marriage and what you look for in a marriage partner and who you're going to marry if you do marry. And important if you're interested. Okay, so ministry. Let me pull my mom's chart up real quick. Okay. iPhone. Okay, hold on. I just hope it does. There we go. I'm just gonna be really gentle with it. I don't know if you can see the background of my stuff here. And if you can, I'm gonna move all of that just in case. Okay. Dang. I'm gonna try to do this as best as possible. So, like I said, mom. I can I write on this? Okay. Oh, I can erase. Where's the drawing? Draw. Here we go. Can I do that? Does that color work? Erase. Oh, clear. Oh, redo. Why is it not redo? Bullshit. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Let's do this one. And then let's do red. Or we could do yellow. Red. Okay. So my chart is on the outer. So this is mine. So my first house starts right here. Okay. So this is where my first house starts. My mom's first house. So my mom's chart is in the inside. Her first house. Oh, wait, that doesn't matter. Sorry. Okay. My chart here. This is just showing how it hits her chart. So how I hit her. Right. And it's going to show too how she hits me too. Because even if you move it the other way, it's going to show the same thing. But yeah, you can understand what I'm saying. So yeah, Chiron is wounded healer, wounds, where your wounds at. So Chiron has been in my second house. So that is self-worth, self-esteem, materials, money, security. It's where I have wounds at. And my mom's ascendant, which is like who she is as a person and how I feel and know her, it's my Chiron. Exactly. It's a Chiron and ascendant in the second house. Part fortune. Part fortune is like lucky, I guess you would consider lucky for the most part. If I forgot what it is, There's one that's with part fortune and something else that it can determine poverty, but I can't remember exactly which one that is for right now. But that's not the case here. I mean, whatever. Okay, so part fortune, I just say like luck, prosperity, and whatever. So where you're lucky at. So I am part fortune. My third house, such as communication, brothers, neighborhood, short journeys. So that hits her. Jupiter hits my third house. So yeah. Okay. Anyways, I see home. Jupiter. Jupiter is expansion. Jupiter can also be like traveling to, you know. Vesta. Vesta is like is home. It's what I would consider home, like Vesta, home. So fourth house is all in the fourth house. So my mom's palace, right here, palace is like child parent. So palace in your chart is like, I look at that as my parent, okay? Or a parent like figure. Pluto. So Vesta, her Pluto hits my Vesta. Or actually hits IC Jupiter and Vesta, but all in the fourth house, and then Uranus. Okay. Vertex. Vertex is like fate, like what you're known for in this life, what you're striving for. So my vertex is in the fifth house. My Pluto's in the sixth house, but here, fifth house. So my mom's south node, Ceres is what I say, mother. That's how I look at that, mother. And then her IC, which is like home, Juno, my mom, moon, all hit my fifth house, which makes sense because she's my mom, right? And then her Neptune hits my sixth house with Pluto. Neptune and Uranus are very important when it comes to health issues. If you have health issues, Neptune, Pluto, Uranus, Hygeia. Very important things to look at. You can look at Chiron too. Very important. Her vertex is in my sixth house. And then it doesn't matter who it is. If it's my mom, a stranger, my north node, Pallas, Uranus, Neptune, always hits seventh house. So that person's seventh house. That's because it's in the seventh house. Her Lilith hits my Uranus. And Lilith can also be known as, Lilith is creativity. And like, I look at Lilith as an artist. Lilith is an artist. She is creativity. She is beauty. Yeah. So hits my Uranus. Her part fortune is in my eighth house. Her descendant is in my eighth house. So I don't know if that's in the 11th house. Oh no. Oh, it fell off. Broke. That is so weird. How did that even break? That's weird. That is really weird. That is really weird. Okay. Uh Okay, no, her north node hits my 11th house. So her north node, Saturn, midheaven, Venus, and Sun hit my 11th house. Or I'm sorry, just Venus. I think the sun hits my 12th house. Her sun hits my 12th house. So Eris here is what you would consider like what you are doing in your life. It's also like wounds, like healing wounds and helping other heal wounds. That's the only way I can explain it. It's almost another like Venus. It's another form of like Venus. But that hits to Chiron, my 10th house. But her sun hits my Hygeia exactly at in the 12th house. It's fucking insane. Okay, so real quick, do I need to erase this? Okay, class. Okay. I don't know if I need that right now. Okay. Let's look here. I did want to show something that was crazy. Look at that. Her Neptune squares. So my Neptune squares her nodes exact. So right here, Neptune, square nodes, exact degree. Mercury, midheaven. My Uranus squares her nodes. Chiron squares her Juno. Venus squares the sun. Her Vesta squares my nodes, which means if it's squaring my nodes, it hits me more. I feel it more effectively. My Saturn squares her Venus. My Ceres, which is like mother, squares her nodes. Her Chiron squares my nodes, which means she's Chiron. I feel the pain, well, painful. So, but Chiron too does not always mean just pain. Chiron is wounded healer. Chiron is a healer. It's also spiritual. It's also a teacher. It's also an artist. Understand that. My mom was an artist. My mom did art, played music. We have all done that within the family. And I would do art with my mom too. Like I would make art with my mom. And so that's another form too. If you have a synastry and you have, Chiron squaring the north node and south node, and a synastry or composite chart with somebody, don't assume that it's just a negative thing, and it's just going to be it's just, oh, it's just it's just painful. No, it could be it's actually beautiful, which means that person that has a synastry with that is vital because they both are healing. You're learning how to heal wounds together, or work on that together, and create together. And so, yeah. And so then here we go. Here is her Eris squares my north node and south node. And then my Chiron squares her Venus. Jesus Christ. That is fucking crazy, dude. Okay, and then the composite chart. Okay. And for people that don't really understand astrology at all, or very little, I'm trying to do this the best way I can. Composite is another form of aspects you can look. It's how you look at the person's chart. So when you are doing a relationship, you usually want to look at the composite, but synastries is great too. Synastry just is showing you the transits that hit both of your guys' charts. It could show faded stuff and things like that. But composite is going to show the aspects, like what aspects really hit closely. These all hit. The ones that are in red are the ones that are you feel more with that person. You feel the most. But you still feel all of those within the composite chart. And I know Uranus, and what was I saying? Uranus and Neptune are very important as well. Uranus also is a form of like movement, change, travel. Neptune, same thing. Like I said, a lot of artists have that in their chart, and a lot of Chiron. And so that's the only way I can explain it. People like to say squares are just all horrible, all bad. I say they're good and bad. You learn both good. It's half. You learn both good and bad, whether it's a square, whether it's a conjunction, whether it's an opposition. The ones that are really good are sextiles and trines. I look into like quintiles and biquintiles. That's stuff you're striving for or work towards. Semi-square too, or sesquiquadrate. It's just, if you're gonna look at something in a all negative or bad way, then that's kind of like, that's what you're gonna get. I mean, if you're just gonna look at it, but I see it as both. So you're still gonna learn from it. It's not, and trust me, there are some aspects and transits that are fucking brutal. I've been through a lot of brutal transits, but a lot of us have. So it's just, and everybody's chart hits differently. So it could be a different sign, a different house, different degree, different signs aspecting in the same, different signs and house and degrees, and it's all not the same. Okay, so I'm going to show this though. Look at all this Aries with my mom and I. Bi-moon. Bi-moon is like dark, hidden, unconscious secrets. Venus, Midheaven, Icarus. Icarus is like, again, child parent, striving for something. Mars, Lilith, Eris, Sun, and Hygeia, all in motherfucking Aries, dude. Holy shit. Now wonder my mom and I heated a lot. And this is like, I looked at this just a little bit earlier before I started this, and I was like, holy shit. This is the first time I'm looking at this. So I only looked at it for just a second. But we got Taurus and Mercury. My mom had a Taurus sun, and I think she had Taurus moon. She had Taurus sun. Gemini, Vesta, and Chiron. Cancer ascendant. South Node Leo. Jupiter and Virgo. Libra. Icy. Pluto. Scorpio. Part Fortune, Pallas, Uranus. Sagittarius, Vertex, Ceres, and Neptune, which that's funny because that makes so much sense. Ceres with like the mom and Neptune and Vertex, because we and Sagittarius is very like outgoing and also a lot of travel. And so we traveled a lot. So Capricorn, Juno, and the Descendant. So that would make sense because my mom, that's like Aquarius, North Node, Moon, and then Pisces, Saturn and Pisces. 2 degrees for mine, because mine's in the 18 degrees. So it's crazy. I want to show this. I want to explain this. Even though this is showing my mom and I's chart on how we were together. This is also showing exactly what I'm doing right now. I'll show you. Venus in Midheaven. So Venus in Midheaven is me speaking, okay? Me speaking and talking about Icarus, my mother, and Mars, Lilith artistry, and Bi-moon. I'm talking about how Venus and Mercury and all of those come together with Eris, which is also another form of Venus, but wounds as well, with the sun. Okay. Sun and Hygeia speaking. So let me try it. Let me try like this. With what I do right now on my videos. Venus Midhaven. Speaking. Bi-moon. I speak about patterns, behaviors, wounds, hurt, pain. What's caused that pain and hurt? Icarus, mother, childhood. But that, as Mars pushed me forward to Lilith, which is artistry, moving forward to Eris, which is me speaking into my sun as a whole being, as you see me. Hygeia, health, and also speaking. Mercury and Taurus. Mercury and Taurus. My mom is Taurus. My moon's in Taurus. My moon is in Taurus. And who's speaking? Mercury and Taurus, which is my moon. Gemini speaks a lot, right? Talks. Gemini loves to talk, knowledge. Chiron with Vesta. Vesta's home. Chiron, wounds, which I talk about. Ascendant in Cancer, which is also Cancer can be motherly. Emotions. Leo, South Node. So South Node is always what is in the past. Okay. South Node is in Leo. My Chiron in my own chart, natal chart, is in Leo. And part fortune. Virgo, Jupiter. My Jupiter is also in Virgo in my own chart. But that is health. Also talk about health, patterns, behavior. Libra. Libra can also be like I said, creativity. You know, Libras. Yeah. But I see wounds, childhood, roots, family with Pluto, the transformation. That's where the transformation is where it is for me. Okay. Scorpio, our fortune, Palace, which is also child parent. Uranus. Which I'll show here in a minute. But look at this. The North Node and Moon. What am I doing right now for my North Node? Moon, speaking. Aquarius. Aquarius is unique, different, out of the box. What are we in right now? Even though we're in Pluto and Capricorn and it's in retrograde. But Pluto goes back into Aquarius. I think it's in January of next year. Then it goes back into Capricorn one more time. And then it's in Pluto and Aquarius for the next 10 years or 15 years, something like that. It's wild. So okay, let's go to the houses. Second house, South Node, and Jupiter. Self-worth. That's where it expands and grows, is talking about that, right? And that's in Leo. Fourth house, Pluto, part fortune. Pluto in the fourth house is the talks about feeling pain and wounds from childhood. But part fortune is there with Pluto. So it is fortunate for me to talk about Pluto in the fourth house here. Fifth house, Ceres here, mother, vertex, how people see you, what you want to strive for. Uranus is adaptivity, change, environment, and then Pallas, child, family. It's all there. It's explaining that's what I do. My fifth house, that's creativity. And that's what I'm striving and talking about right now. In the sixth house, Juno and Neptune. Juno can talk about marriage, partnerships, and affairs. So it can also not only be a marriage, but it's also it's my mom. So in Neptune, I'm talking about painful things in the sixth house. What that is considered my mom and my mom passing away. That affected me, right? Okay, seventh house, Moon. Talking about, again, seventh house is relationships, partnerships, any kind of partnerships. So North Node in the eighth house. North Node in the eighth house. Eighth house. Sex, power, death. Money that one does not own. A lot that goes in the eighth house. Ninth, which is foreign, usually long travels, is Saturn, Bi-Moon, and Venus in the ninth house. Okay, so she's no longer here, so she's far away, you know. 10th house, career, which I showed you all of that already, you know. 11th is in the 11th house is community, friends, environment, speaking. It's Mercury, which is also speaking, talking with Chiron. What am I doing? What do? I speak about wounds and pain all the time. That's what I do. And the Vesta, home, 12th house, which is unconscious behaviors, things that have come up that have been unconscious for a long time, but have been brought up since my mom had passed away. Is this clicking? Is this clicking for anyone? I'm sitting here, mind fucking blown here. I'm trying to explain this the best way I can for people that don't fully understand astrology, but this, I'll also show this here. The day my mom passed away. So this is a synastry chart with my mom and I. She passed away February 3rd of last year. She passed away, I think, at like 3:57 a.m. ish. But I didn't get around there till I'm pretty sure it was around 8, or I think it maybe was a little bit earlier than that, but I think it was around 8 to see my mom's body. And I'm just putting that time anyways because it's showing for that day anyways. And that was also when a huge snowstorm came through, and I had to leave early because, you know, I have kids to take care of, and I only knew I had a limited amount of time. And I've worked in the medical field for 8 years before all of that anyways. I know quite a bit about medical, but have never really witnessed a close death like that, you know, or been a part of that like that. I mean, I've had people die that's been close to me, but not like this. And the only way I kind of knew a little bit about some of this stuff was some hospice videos kind of popped up on TikTok. You know, the universe sends things. The universe gives you things for a reason. And I learned a few things from this woman. She was talking about some stuff with hospice and like things that happen and normal things that happen right before people pass away. And so one of the things was, you know, they go nonverbal, and then they can go like they can be talkative and be their normal fucking self completely themselves for a day or two, and then they go nonverbal again, and then it's anywhere from 1 to 3 days, and then that's it. And well, my mom went to the hospital, what did I say, the 21st. It was like a few days later, then we get the news that there was nothing else that could be done, and to go ahead and get hospice involved. So my mom always said that she did not want to die at a hospital. She wanted to die at home. So we did that. And um by the time she got out of the hospital on that Saturday, okay, so what day would that have been? Let me check. Um she came home the 29th of January, and it was um in the afternoon. So she was actually walking on her own, and she was actually starting to talk again because she was nonverbal for like a week or almost a week or a few days. And so I knew, I already knew that her time was limited. So I'm happy I knew that because I was able to get my kids the next day and see my mom for the last time. And that's hard because there was so much I feel like I wanted to say, but I didn't I didn't want my mom to feel bad. And I know I didn't want to put that on her. So we said bye and went home.
And after I went home, it was like an hour later or 2 hours later, she went nonverbal and stopped talking. And I couldn't even get myself to come to the house that Monday. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it. And I wanted other family members to have their time with mom. And I don't think I've ever talked about this yet. I don't know if I have or not. And then I came over a little bit Tuesday, you know, and they were saying that it was like she had like, excuse me, like 1 to 2 weeks, 1 to 2 weeks or something. And I knew that that was definitely not correct because she had to get blood every week, and it had been that when she passed, it had been a week since she last got blood. So it yeah. And I thought I had a little bit more time, or we thought we had a little bit more time. But I went over there Wednesday. I went there a little bit late because I thought we had a little bit more time, and um and a snowstorm is coming in. It was going to be pretty bad. So when it I knew it was going to start snowing around, I think it was like 6 p.m. ish. And um I knew that when it was going to start snowing, I would have to leave. And when I got there, my mom was like I said, this is gonna trigger anybody. Don't listen. You can leave. Um Here, I'm gonna move this for a second. But yeah, um my mom started having this like sound that she was making where it was like she was choking on water or choking on her spit, like a gurgling sound. And I knew that it was way closer than what we thought. My dad and my brothers didn't know that yet, but I knew. Like I said, I've worked in the medical, and I've done research, um and I told my dad, I said, you need to call the nurse and have her come in now. And you need to check her blood pressure and stuff. I said, I don't think she's gonna make it to the next day, or past the whole night. I said, I don't think she's gonna make it. And so the nurse comes in, and I don't remember exactly what the blood pressure, what it said, the numbers, but I remember looking at it, and that's when I knew that she was close. And the nurse said, yeah, she's got like 10% left, and she's close. She's like, she's like, I'm shocked because I didn't know she said she's been she went quick. And that's good. I didn't want suffering. And there's never been a time in my life where I've ever wanted time to stop or stand still. But when it started snowing and I knew that was it, that was when I just wanted time to stop. And so all I could do was sit at home and wait for the phone call. So I knew I was going to get the phone call. And I knew it was like 5 or 4:30, and I heard my phone ringing and I saw it was my dad, and I knew that she was gone. My brothers tried to stay, and she obviously didn't want my brothers to be there because she waited until all my brothers left. And she tried to sneak. She tried to leave when my dad fell asleep. She didn't want anybody to witness that. So go in the morning and it's the most bizarre thing to look at someone's body and your mind knows that they're gone. They're not breathing, but they look like they're there, but you know they're not. It's hard. My mom and I didn't get along for a long time. But I knew I always wanted a relationship with my mom and I fought for it. I got it. And she was my best friend. She was my best friend. My mom was literally my best friend. We talked like every day. Called her. I would ask her for advice, and I go over there. I would take her to like anywhere. Like we did like everything together. And for a year or so, it didn't feel real. It didn't feel real. But like just last month, since I've been going through some emotional times, and I don't have her help or just her support. Like it definitely has been feeling real. It feels real now. So let me show my nose gets really stuffy when I cry. I'm sorry. Um let's share screen again. There we go. Okay. Um this is when she passed away. And this is when I was seeing her body. Okay. Mm. I know it's hard for people to understand, you know, it's crazy is north node, square north node, south node, north node, south node, all squared. Okay. So let's go to zodiac real quick. So in Aries is Lilith, Eris, and Chiron. Okay. Lilith, remember, artist. Eris, wounds. Chiron. These are Taurus, North Node. Uranus with Ceres. Look at that. The North Node is going towards Ceres, which is mother, home. Behind is Uranus, just change, travel. Icy, home, roots, family is with Bi-Moon at 22 degrees. And that's also the thing is 18 degrees and 22 degrees. But 22 degrees is normally used for also people say it's the degree of death, but also 22 degrees is a powerful degree too. Doesn't always mean death, but Bi-Moon. Um, hidden, secrets, dark. Descendant is in Leo. Vertex in Virgo. Scorpio. Remember I said about Scorpio. Doesn't matter whether it's South Node or North Node, but South Node in Scorpio is letting go. And it's with Hygeia. With Midhaven in Sagittarius. Traveling. Capricorn. Mars. Venus. Vesta. Icarus. Mercury. And Pluto. Juno. Sun and Saturn. Or ascendant. Pisces. Our fortune. Pallas. Neptune. Moon, and Jupiter. Michelle. Pallas, part fortune, Pallas is child, parent, how I'm seeing my mom. Neptune, I'm sad, emotions. With the moon expressing. Jupiter, expansion. But Jupiter is long journeys too. Jupiter, my mom's gone. Okay. I want to show this. This is when she died. I want to double check something real quick. Okay, but it's just showing in the houses. So in the it's first house. So first house is like you. So this is first house, me speaking and happening. So Jupiter with the moon and then Chiron, it's hitting, it's hurting. In the second house, self-worth, materials, artistry, wounds, it's all hitting. In the third house, North Node and Ceres. I am saying goodbye. I'm saying goodbye. And then a bi-moon in the fourth house, which was at home. Vertex in the seventh. Just my mom, eighth house, Hygeia. My mom, it had to do with health and death. So that's where it's at, the eighth house. And then in the ninth house is South Node, letting go. She's gone. Ninth house is on journey. She's gone. 11th house, speaking communities. You could see here, I think so here I am, I'm there at the house. So that's what it is Mars, Venus, and Vesta. I'm there in the house and I am talking either to family or I'm talking my mom and yeah. And then 12 is unconscious or behind the scenes, which is Pluto. Pluto can death, transformation, rebirth with Juno. And Sun with Saturn. And then I want to show this. You can look at stars here with this app. I've said this app before. And I just noticed that with her and I's chart together on the day that she died, it literally says right here and explains what I do with my North Node. That one of my North Node is future, forward, bi-moon, dark secrets, unconscious, hidden wounds, right? In the midhaven, right? Midhaven career, speaking with IC is roots, home, childhood. It's showing right here. Right here. That it's showing the relation, it's showing what I am, what her relationship and everything that all led up to this right here and me here. And you guys remember, right, when I said, I showed you all the Aries, right? And Eris. And the nodes are about to change, right? Nodes are changing. Okay. Okay. Stay with me. Let's just change the date here. July. So 18th. Would you look at that? This is for everyone, by the way. North Node is in Aries. And what else is in Aries? Eris and Chiron. Our future moving forward is to bring up wounds and healing. Also, Aries is fire. Aries is also impulsive, but Aries is also very passionate.
No, a North Node in Aries can also mean artist. Okay. And then the South Node is in Libra. With law, fairness, and civil. Corresponds to kidneys, sense of beauty and harmony, romance and relationship. Search for the perfect love, artistic and culture, and parts of relating to others. You see? Show this natal chart. My natal chart. Aries is Eris in Aries. Mercury is in Aries as well, right? Speaking. I speak about wounds, but I'm also artist speaking. Also speaking. My moon is with Hygeia. With the ascendant in my Gemini, I speak a lot, talk a lot. With my South Node in Cancer with Lilith. Beautiful, very beautiful. Part fortune with Chiron. It's fortunate for me to speak about my wounds. And that it will expand my Vesta, which is my home, with Jupiter expansion more. When I talk about my IC, which is family, home, roots, which also leads to Pluto and Vertex and Scorpio, which is always transformation, rebirths, deaths. I am here to witness things most people don't. And I'm also here to help others. And to show people that I'm still here. I still fight to live. I still going. Here we go. Descendant, Sagittarius, right? Capricorn. Got Pallas, remember, parent child, North Node, and Uranus, Neptune, Ceres. Well, we just say parent child with Uranus and Neptune. Change and adaptive. A lot of stuff going on, changes with Ceres, mother and child, right? Aquarius, my moon, Icarus, Saturn, Mars, and Venus. But you can also see this as Sun, Juno, and Midheaven. Pisces. Which also means Juno is me also speaking about relationships and my mom, my career. And also, it's explaining here that my spouse will be someone who does work with me, who does this work with me, or does some kind of creative work with me. Creativity. Because I got here in the 11th here, Eris and Moon, speaking to the public, right? 12th house, Hygeia, unconscious, talking about unconscious behaviors, patterns, what's pulled up. In the 10th house, career, Juno, Sun, and Mercury, speaking again, right? Talking about those things. And the 9th house, spirituality, Venus, Mars, and Saturn. 8th house, death, rebirths. Dude, I can't make this shit up. 4th house. I'm just saying. If you're not fucking mind is blown, I don't know what to tell you, then. Holy fuck, dude. Man, that is some fucking crazy shit, dude. I love astrology. You know, astrology is just, it's helped me in so many ways, but I know it's not for everyone. It's just, damn. The shit, if I would have fucking known this shit back then, jeez. But yeah, no, like, and then I showed in the last video about my progressions. I said, look, my progressions are showing almost exactly to the point of what my birth chart shows, which is right, because North Node is going into Aries, and it's with Eris and Chiron, artistry, Libra, and South Node. Like, it's funny because I before I even like pulled this up, and I said last month or 2 months ago, it's like I feel like something big's about to happen. Like I feel like I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I've always felt that I'm meant to do something big and important for people and help others. And I'm not putting expectations. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like. But when I started astrology and looking into that, it confirmed it. And it still validates. Anytime, baby. Anytime. Anytime. But yeah, I know we're all kind of going through our own stuff right now and our own wounds. Just know that this is never a final state. Things get better. Things happen. It's life. Try to enjoy it, even in the hard times and painful times, and embrace it. Embrace others. And love others. I mean, man, like I said, I never would have ever thought I would be ever doing shit like this. Ever. Ever. Even though I like to talk, like I never pictured that. So, but now after going through spiritual awakening and my Saturn return and knowing astrology and then doing these videos and actually doing it, and still the astrology is confirming it. It's just it makes me realize how powerful I really am, and that I'm going fucking places. I always knew I was going places, but this is my time now, guys. This is my time. No, no, but really, like, I feel like finally, finally, I feel like finally it's my time. I feel like I've always been there for other people, and I had to learn a fucking ton, and I had to be stepped on, shit on, fucking pain, loss, suffering, but I had to learn, you know? It's like telling a kid, don't touch that, and they touch it and get hurt. Like, it's like that. It's like, you know? But I've seen everyone else in my life get do things, and that's great. I'm always happy for them too. Like, I'm not one of those people to be like, man, whatever. Like, when is that gonna happen for me? Like, I'm not gonna lie, it makes me feel sad sometimes, because I'm like, man, like, when is it gonna be? Like, when am I gonna find that? When is that gonna happen for me? But the thing is that's the whole point, right? We don't ever really know. Even astrology can say, but the whole point is just to have fucking fun and, like, go into the unknown and go, well, I can at least be positive about it, and I at least be, hopeful, and no expectations, and what the fuck, let's go. Like, I don't got anything to lose. Like, I've lost everything before many times. I'm not afraid to start over. I'm not afraid to have nothing. I've been there many times in my life where I didn't have money or didn't have anything. I never judged people by their materials or their money. And the people that do that, it's always been really off-putting, but I can always understand and sympathize from what they've gone through. So I'm feeling, though, either way, this is my time. And so thank you for watching. I hope you guys get through this. You guys will get through this. Don't worry. You guys will. It's just, and I'm getting through this. It's good to release emotions. Don't leave the emotions in. You can get sick. Your body's going to fuck up. Like, whatever it is that happens to you, like, just call someone. And if that person doesn't really want to listen or talk, call someone else. Try someone else. Eventually someone's gonna have to. I'm just saying, like, no, but really, like, the best thing that we can all do for each other is be there for one another. Even if we don't agree with everything that person believes in or says or whatever, like, if they're doing their thing and what they love and they're passionate about, fuck yeah. So, just gotta be all in this together. No, anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week and weekend. Y'all know I wasn't gonna leave you like I did with that last video. Not right. I was not gonna do that. Anyways, bye. I love you guys.